hi, y'all.
How are you?
What's going on, gentlemen?
It's so great to talk with both of you, and from one super fan to another, you have been so fun to watch this season, and I'm so thrilled that y'all were able to live out your dreams.
Thanks. Yeah, it's been a crazy ride, as we've all seen, but just to be able to make it to the end, even though it's been that roller coaster, it's just been a super fan's dream that we got to race.
And for me to do it with Natalia, it's just a blessing, and it was so great. We had a good time.
What was your favorite moment or favorite thing that y'all were able to do running the race?
I got two favorite things.
Okay.
Donald, where's your trousers? And roll.
That was so
I
good.
really enjoyed the cabbage bowling we did. Was the speed bump that was aired. That was actually one of my favorite challenges.
That was actually the best because it was never aired. But it was such a good challenge. I was a hamster in the cabbage, and she was directing me. And I wish there was GoPros inside. It was wet and crazy. So I wish.
Now that you've been able to experience the Amazing Race, so you've asked Dusty this, you've asked Raquel and Kayla this, for the different types of elements that we've seen on Amazing Race, between fast forwards, express passes, U-turns, and yields, was there any of those that you wish you would have had on your season? And if so, do you think you would have ever utilized them?
I think we had talked about fast forward because we had this conversation about fast forward, and I said that was our opportunity because we were the way the race was structured this season with the 15 minutes 30, there was no equalizer, so you were always behind, correct? So we were hoping that we would get an opportunity to just use the fast forward sometime, but she was on a total.
I don't think we would ever have the chance. I feel like another team would have already gotten it. I would probably say U-turn, because we thought there was going to be U-turns. We were expecting a U-turn, and there were even the Switzerland or Corsica France leg with the cheese making. That would have been a perfect opportunity after we left for us to U-turn Dusty and Ryan. So having that competitive aspect to the race, I feel like it was missing a little bit.
But at the same time, I didn't understand the mentality of some of the other teams is because they were going to U-turn because people hated us. I mean,
because we had so many experiences.
They liked us as people, but they just because we got the opportunities. So we were on our own island, and the other teams were all working together in the first group, the second group, and we were always by ourselves. We never had the opportunity to even work with anybody. So
we heard some chatter. We knew if there was a U-turn, we would be.
That's right. I said that was not very smart. If you really want to win $1 million, you should be taking out the strong teams. Come on.
I agree.
I didn't understand.
Hey, I agree with you. I think that the strategy of you turning a team that's already potentially behind it's not exciting, and it's also like a cop-out. You don't need to do that. Do something that's big and shakes it up a little bit more. There's obviously Dusty and Ryan, if you had the chance, why not? They're such a strong team that are super athletic and competitive. So I would not.
But people are big. I don't know if they were not thinking that they could win the $1 million by doing something like that. We were not too sure, but they were very close. I mean, especially during the 19 months they all bonded. We thought we were eliminated, and we were continuing with life, working so many hours in the restaurant industry. I wasn't even thinking about the race.
When you got the call to come back, what was going through your brain? Were you so ecstatic to get that second chance?
Oh God,
yeah.
I screamed so loud.
He blew out my eardrum because we didn't expect it. And I think it was 6 weeks before we were about to go back, and we're like, oh no, we got to prep now. All these teams are probably prepping, and we're like, we got to get into shape. We got to memorize all the flags and we knew with COVID, there were certain countries we probably want to go to. So it made it easier with prepping on those things and prepping on learning some singing and dancing again, some Zumba classes so we could pick up choreo.
We did the father-daughter dance. I don't know if you guys ever seen it on the thing. So she just wanted to do a simple father-daughter dance. I said, no, we got to spice this up.
Yeah, he's like,
oh, at your wedding, it was so cute. I did see the video. It was so cute.
Now,
I was
after
proud
all-
of him. He learned it quick.
You did good. You
It
did
was
really good.
It was a blessing to get a call back, but at the same time, I was working in the restaurant industry and with no staffing. The day before Monday we left for the race, when we went back, I worked on Sunday too, all day, just because I didn't want to let my team down. So I understand $1 million is important, but at the same time, situation demanded that I work. So we really didn't have much time to prepare, but physically I was not a liability. I was able to keep up with some of the younger kids. I was 56 years old guy. So, but age was not a factor. Age was just a number.
No, you did such a good job. You were running around with the best of them. It was so good to.
And you
watch
soaked
it.
up every aspect of the race. You could tell that you all were so happy to be there and to be living out your dream. And now, after all these years watching the show, what do you think is the hardest part of the race that viewers don't really see or understand?
The navigation. So watching it back, or like watching the show, you don't realize how much of a struggle navigation is, especially our season. We were in the countryside. So not being in a city center a lot, like it's hard to, with like people, especially COVID time, people don't want you to approach them or use their phones. And so that was just an extra layer. And the fact that we had to do it back to back to back, like we just knew every time we said, like, maybe it'll be another shuttle. Like if you look at the legs, we did really well. It was like leg 2 when we had taxis, and then the shuttle leg where they were taking us around. So that's telling you something.
We both I think for me, I didn't realize how physically and mentally demanding it is, especially the turning over the stone episode. We were there on our knees for about 3 hours. I mean, I had all the patience in the world. I would have stayed there all day. There is no way I was going to take, there was some talk about taking a penalty, but there was no way. I would have just stayed there when everybody else took the penalty. We had to do that. Plus, then we had to do a 4 or 5 mile run to the pit stop. So it's extremely physically demanding. That I didn't realize how demanding. Looking at the TV doesn't look that way.
When the fatigue sets in. Yeah.
The fatigue for us, I say it in every interview, that just being so exhausted all the time was so challenging and really hard.
Especially when you go from like a huge adrenaline rush to just a complete lull, and that up and down, up and down. It does take a toll on you physically, mentally, emotionally.
All of it.
I have to ask, would you ever do it again?
For sure, because we have some unfinished business for sure. Because if not for the self-driving leg in everything, in challenges, we did pretty good.
Yeah.
And we were concentrated in Europe. So if the teams go to other parts of the world, and I think we will be better off for those legs. It's just because we know the countries. We know how the dynamic and the culture works. I think there were a lot of things which went against us. So in this, I'm not making excuses. Please understand.
No.
I think in a normal season, I think we will be better suited to run this race.
Yeah, your season was definitely a different set because all the countries were in Europe, and like for our race, for instance, we were only in 2 cities in Europe. So it's definitely very different, different race.
Yeah, and we were talking about it with Dusty. It's like no matter how many times you like redo the race, if you do the same teams, a different route, the outcome can always be different.
Yeah.
Like the race is designed for any team to win. There's so many variables that come into play to either help a team or hinder a team. So I think you both did an amazing job. And again, as a fan of the show, I just loved watching the 2 of you live out your dream. I could relate to it. It's an incredible experience that to even have the chance to do. It's just incredibly life-changing. So.
Hey, you were in my top 3 at the very beginning.
It's true.
Oh, we appreciate that.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, actually, the first 2 episodes, even in the 3rd episode, we came to the roadblock 4th or 5th. If we had just stayed,
At the detour.
Yeah, that the detour, we would have completely changed the way the race was run.
It was all downhill from then, because from that we were always in the back of the pack, and with this new structure of the team departures, 15 minutes doesn't seem like a lot, but like even you see like Dusty and Ryan, once they fall to that second group, they never were able to get back into that first group.
And
so
they were all working as a team because they just hated us. So
they didn't hate us.
No, I mean, yeah, like for our season, most of the legs on our season were all equalizers. So we started at the same time. And then when we were watching y'all's and it was the 15 minutes, I was like, viewers are not going to understand that 15 minutes is a lot of time, especially when teams are running to the pit stop within like 2 to 3 minutes of each other. 15 minutes is a long time. So it definitely makes a difference.
Yeah. Well, we, like I said, had such a great time watching the two of you. And I hope that y'all get the chance to do it again. It would be incredible to watch that evolution, like you said, with unfinished business. But we just wish you all the best and hope that we can meet one day. And as a Michigander too, y'all did Michigan proud.
I know, yeah. Fellow Michigander. Yeah, we all need to hang out sometime.
Yes, and we'll swap stories.
Real drama.
Yes. Enjoy Miami, and thank you so much for talking with us.
Yeah, we missed you in Miami. You guys should have come.
I know. We were
trying. Lulu and Lala kept texting us, and we really wanted to make it work, but we just couldn't with work. But
it looked like a fabulous night.
One of these days we'll get together.